Central America, a region located entirely within the North American continent between the tropics of Cancer and the equator. Bordered to the north by Mexico, to the south by Colombia and South America, to the west by the Pacific Ocean, and to the east by the Caribbean Sea. I'm the absolute ranker. I've just spent the last 8 months travelling the cities, the jungles, the beaches, the lakes, the waterfalls and the volcanoes of these magnificent countries. In this video, I'm going to rank all 7 Central American countries from worst to best in my personal opinion. Vamos! Number 7, Honduras. I'm sorry Honduras, but I have to start somewhere. So the reason Honduras is bottom of the list is because simply I don't know it very well. I've only spent 3 days in Honduras, and that was a quick side quest from Guatemala to Copan Ruinas. I was planning to go back to Honduras in 2024 to explore the country more comprehensively. I've heard good things about a lot of places there, especially Roatan and Utila. But then this happens. In August 2024, the Honduran government decided that British nationals now need a visa to get into Honduras, and it's a bit of a pain in the arse to get. So I skipped Honduras and went to El Salvador instead. So I won't be going to Honduras anytime soon. One British guy though who did go to Honduras recently is this guy, LSWR. If you want to check out a Brit in Honduras and his impressions, do go out and check his channel. I'll put the link in the description. Number 6, Belize. If you like sun, sea, great hospitality and really good food, you can't really go wrong with Belize. I would say the Belizeans are quite possibly the friendliest people that I met in Central America. Although I didn't see a huge amount there, it is a diverse country. There's Latin people, there's African Caribbean people, there's Mayan ruins, there's beautiful beaches. I even went to the hood in Belize City, which a few years ago was one of the most dangerous places in the world. The locals were super friendly, got me drunk. And the meat pies, oh my gosh, I still think about these meat pies. So why is Belize number 6 on this list? Well, it's only a small country, albeit very diverse, as I said before. It's also kind of expensive. Along with Costa Rica, it's probably the most expensive country in the region, and it's very touristy as well. As a vlogger though, as a YouTuber, Belize is a dream. As you can see, everybody is happy to talk to you. It's a very relaxed country. It has more in common, I think, with countries like Jamaica or Barbados than sort of Mexico or other Latin American countries. I think if you're looking to relax for a couple of weeks, get away from it all, Belize is a perfect place to go. If you're a backpacker on a budget, perhaps not so much. Number 5, El Salvador. El Salvador is a naturally stunning country, as you can see with this sunrise here. Beautiful people, very friendly, as you can see again. And the infrastructure is still pretty basic, as you can see by this chicken bus that I'm dancing away in. It's getting quite modern in the city centre. This is San Salvador downtown, and on the flip side, the provincial cities with the sex motels here in San Miguel. And then you've got the beaches with the mariachi bands. This is in the La Libertad area, which is very popular with surfers. Apparently it's world-class surfing. I don't know because I'm a useless surfer. And it's very safe for a gringo like me to walk around the markets, walk around the city centres. 5 years ago, 6 years ago, El Salvador was very dangerous. Nowadays it's cleaned up its act. President Bukele has thrown all the bad guys in prison, possibly some of the not so bad guys as well. The country has really opened up to foreigners now, and the locals are so happy to meet the foreigners, to welcome them, to ask what they think of the country. It's a great place, and if you live like a local, it's very economical, very easy on the pocket. What stops El Salvador being higher on the list is the food isn't the best in the region, apart from pupusas, which are obviously fantastic, but you can't eat those every day. And there's not a huge amount of variety in the food. Also, it's very small, so it doesn't have as many attractions as perhaps some of the other countries. However, the infrastructure is great. You can get around very easily, and You can vary it. You can have either the tourist shuttles or the chicken buses. Of course, I go for the chicken buses every time. You can get from one end of the country to the other for less than $5, no problem. Number 4, Nicaragua. Due to a slight mishap, someone stealing my passport, I ended up staying in Nicaragua much longer than I planned to. But that wasn't such a bad thing. Nicaragua has a lot to offer the traveller. Tons of volcanoes, beaches, jungles, colonial cities. Nicaragua is very good value for money. The highlights of Nicaragua for me were the beach at Las Peñitas, the volcanic island of Ometepe, and the colonial city of Granada, one of the most beautiful cities in Central America. Nicaragua is definitely one of the most underrated destinations I've ever been to. The food's pretty decent, there's plenty of nightlife, loads for nature lovers to do, but of course, it's not perfect. Nicaragua still has one of the most authoritarian regimes in the region. The flag of the ruling party, the FSLN, is flown everywhere, and I was alarmed to see this homage to Venezuelan President Hugo Chavez, who is unpopular pretty much everywhere else in the world, including his home country, Venezuela. And aside from the politics, it's also quite a dirty country in terms of litter. There is litter everywhere. So some places there's just mounds piled up. But of course, Nicaragua is the second poorest country in all of Latin America behind Haiti. So that's kind of to be expected. Overall, it's a fantastic place to visit. I fully recommend it, and it's full of locals who are very happy to get you drunk.
Salud!
Salud! Beautiful. Ah, gosh.
Number 3, Panama. Now, if you're like me, you probably didn't know much about Panama apart from the canal. Well, let me tell you, this country has tons to offer. Panama is a nice blend between Latin America and the West. It's very cosmopolitan, but it's still very Latino. Panama has beautiful nature, tons of wildlife, very friendly people. And in Panama City, it has something that the other Central American countries don't have, and that is a world-class modern city that's worth at least a few days of your time. Pretty much every other capital city in the region is just somewhere you'd stop over for maybe a day or a night and then move on to the next destination. Panama City is a place that you actually want to spend time in. There's also the absolutely beautiful San Blas Islands, which if you're in Panama, you absolutely have to check out. It's not all sunshine and skyscrapers, however. I don't know if it's the gleaming office buildings downtown in Panama City, but the wealth disparity here seems more pronounced. As you can see in the footage here, some of the buildings are absolutely falling apart. And yes, people do live in these buildings, and yes, that is a mural of La Manos de Piedra, Roberto Duran. Overall, Panama is a great place to travel. A lot of people speak English, you'll have no problem getting around. And there's plenty to do to keep you going for absolutely weeks. Number 2, Costa Rica. Costa Rica would have been number 1 on many people's lists. The nature is incredible. The beaches are beautiful. The people are friendly. It's fully equipped for all tourists to have a magnificent time. On the subject of tourists, there's a lot of them. This is the most visited country in the region, understandably so, which means tourist numbers are higher and your money doesn't go as far. Although they do have probably the most beautiful banknotes in the world, so you might not want to spend them anyway. Costa Rica, despite being a country smaller than Ireland, contains 6% of the world's biodiversity. I don't think I've ever met anyone that's been to Costa Rica and not had a good time. The reason Costa Rica doesn't get the number 1 spot for me is because of the aforementioned tourists. There's just so many of them, and you do have that feeling of just being another tourist there, another gringo in town. After many years of being Central America's safest country, Costa Rica doesn't have a military, it doesn't have any dictatorships, it hasn't suffered from any civil wars in many decades, unlike most of its neighbours. But Costa Rica isn't quite as safe as it used to be. The drug cartels have come into town, the murder rates have gone up, and in comparison to the rest of the region, it's a pretty expensive country. It also suffers from having a pretty drab capital city in San Jose and doesn't contain any of the colonial cities like Antigua or Grenada, and some might say the food is a little bit lackluster as well. Overall though, it's an absolutely fantastic country, friendly people, crazy wildlife, beautiful weather, beautiful beaches, beautiful mountains, beautiful jungles. Everybody should visit Costa Rica at least once in their lifetime. And that leaves numero uno, Guatemala. Now I might be biased, Guatemala was the first country that I visited in Central America, and I've been 3 times. I've spent probably about 3 months of my life altogether in Guatemala. It's a country that makes you want to stick around. It's a place that's absolutely incredible. It's not perfect, so I'll get its imperfections out of the way right now. So the food perhaps isn't the greatest especially in the remote regions. It is kind of dangerous statistically speaking, not so much in the touristy areas like Antigua or Lake Atitlan, but throughout the country as a whole, its murder rate is kind of scary. It's also not as cosmopolitan or developed as, say, Costa Rica or Panama, but that just makes it feel more authentic. What you're seeing on the screen right now is the Fuego volcano erupting, an absolutely incredible natural sight, one of the most incredible things I have ever witnessed. If you're a hiker, if you're interested in mountains or volcanoes, this is something you absolutely have to witness. And look at that sunrise in the morning as well, absolutely insane. The people in Guatemala are super friendly as well, quite conservative perhaps, but very friendly, very helpful. And it's very cheap for Westerners to travel around as well. As well as the volcano being one of the most beautiful natural sights I've ever seen, this place as well is just incredible. Lake Atitlan, lots of travellers here, lots of hostels, lots of cheap hotels. I got a hotel there for £6 a night, which is about $8 at the time. Tons of international restaurants, from Indian to sushi. And then there's Antigua, which is a world-class colonial city. For my money, the most beautiful city in all of Central America. So that's it, that's my rankings of the 7 Central American countries. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you shortly for some more ranking fun.